Hello again. So let's go over this article. What it's like to be sociopath. This woman. This face looks exactly like the woman I dated in Kiev years ago. It was a woman called Mila Monastyrskaya. She played in a film called Dushka. She later played in a TV series called, what is it, Mumsley Vasily or Vasily Mumsley, and she's the brunette in that TV series. If you want to look it up. And I watched also some of her earlier work at the time when I was going out with her. I wanted to see what she was doing, what she was like. It was before the ban on Vkontakte, and she had some pages there, and there were also some statements by her that I thought, yeah, and others. I thought, is this true? This had to be about photographs of her, and it turns out they were actually correct. They were real. Doesn't really matter. Her facial expression, face actually almost the same. Facial expressions like a quarter smile, half smile, quarter smile. So in that region, the expressly obvious, almost always present half smile. That was I knew already. As I sort of automatically had a feeling you can't trust such people. But this is actually the same. So then let's go a little bit over this. Sociopath is casually tossed around to describe the worst, most immoral among us. But they are real people, and according to Patrick, weird, is that not Patrice, but okay, Gagne, widely misunderstood. Absolutely not misunderstood. It's bullshit. Everything written in this article is what I already knew. And I know how they think. I can emulate how they think. I can emulate autists as well. It's actually not that difficult. Her busy forthcoming to correct some of those misunderstandings and provide a fuller picture of sociopathy, which is more frequently referred to as antisocial personality disorder. Yeah, antisocial personality. I don't why call it a disorder. Antisocial personality doesn't really matter, but there are different grades of antisocial personality. And for example, with low education, you see in certain areas in cities, you see the same kind of attitude, behavior, same type of thinking as with such people, but with the low education, it tends to evaporate, go away with education and intelligence. And if you have someone who is highly educated plus highly intelligent and is apparently antisocial, then you will know that's got to be a psychopath. That's really always the case. Gagne, as a child, Gagne found herself compelled to violent outbursts in an effort to try to compensate for the emotional apathy that was her default. I don't know if that's true. I think it's more not being able to properly restrain yourself. So what happened with that woman, and it happens with narcissists, it's known as narcissistic rage, but I would say the woman I dated in Kiev was a psychopath. Absolutely not interested in anything I said or did. It was all about her, and it was what she wanted. And then later, in one meeting where she exploded, she said, "You always want to get your way." And I thought, "What the hell? We always did what you wanted." That's absolutely crazy. But she didn't. Well, she did not get everything she wanted. There were things I would not give, and that is, for example, I would not go along with certain things. I have certain rules about life, and I do not accept certain things as normal. I said, for example, yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I was not rude in any way or so, but she was interesting, but a lot of that was also because she hid her real personality. So I mentioned I watched some older stuff that she did, and I saw that she was a really bad actress at start, like in a soap opera, really bad. But it's changed. She got practice. She became better, and that's a problem with dating. And then I realized later, that's why there's so many divorces in Hollywood. These people are all playing games in their private lives as well. Let's see. Compensate for the emotional apathy. I don't think it doesn't work like that. As she got older, those compulsive behaviors turned into criminal ones like trespassing and theft. That's something completely different. Eventually, she discovered that there was a name to describe her remorseless criminality, lack of empathy. The desire to destigmatize her experience and also to help others who may share it. She worked as a therapist, and then some guy in the comments, by the way, says, what, she worked as a therapist? Yeah, but I've seen it more. I've seen psychologists often. There's one on YouTube I mentioned who did an interview with Kid Boga, and I thought immediately that guy is a psychopath. The conversation doesn't flow. That's what you already know. Zero facial expression. He said things that are complete nonsense, like, for example, to Kid Boga, he said, do you know who else can manipulate people? And I thought, oh no, he's going to claim that he can do that, but he can't, of course, because he's a psychopath, which means he doesn't care about understanding other people, which means he cannot really manipulate. He can only sort of use what's already present. It's the same as what some people say about Putin. Yeah, he did some good manipulation. No, but he didn't. He said exactly what he wanted. That psychopaths always tell you exactly what they want and what they are. They make it so clear. What really happens that if people fool themselves, that's what happens. There's no manipulation. You can't call that manipulation. What he does. Even what the Russian trolls do on YouTube. It's so obvious and stupid all the time. I don't call it manipulation, it's just stupidity. Although it works by virtue of the fact, which is in particular this, that if people hear something repeated often enough, I should say, then they get the impression in their mind that it's real, that it's valid. And that is what they use, that's all. Destigmatize. She worked as a therapist. I've seen also, for example, in one magazine, a relative gave a psychological magazine from the Netherlands, and one guy was wrote an article about how to deal with a narcissist, and he stated himself that he is a narcissist. And you often see that people who are narcissists, psychopaths, being psychologists or psychiatrists. And I made a comment, why would you need to this relative? Why would you need to know how to deal with a narcissist? Yeah, I would just say whatever I want. And if they explode, I don't care. And she said, that's because if you work for someone like that, and of course, I knew that, but in that case, I would still do the same thing. And by the way, in the video about why the Dutch are so direct, this was mentioned, that a student, for example, can directly go to talk to a professor and disagree, for example, and in other areas. I don't know if you don't have that in the USA. I think you have that in the USA as well, that you can directly criticize what he says as being not correct. And in other societies than the Netherlands, there's more hierarchy, and you don't do that. Well, I don't know. I grew up in the Netherlands, and I skipped over hierarchy that is clearly there. And not that there is no hierarchy. No, there clearly is, but I'm just skipping over it. So it's about a different attitude, not that you consider them the same. I've done that in a law case, for example, but also to get my way, and in other areas as well. For example, about some disagreement with a neighbor. Oh, it doesn't really matter further. I'm not trying to say sometimes we did think about really sweet on the inside, who's 48. I'm saying there's more to this personality type. There's nothing more. They're very simple people. So the difference between men and women is, for me in particular, women are much more complex and much more interesting. Psychopaths, on the other hand, and autists are really simple. They are much more simple than average men. Not interesting at all. When I hear the word sociopath, I think of an antisocial, uncaring person who is interested only in satisfying his or her own desires. What's a clearer picture? Paralyzed, mental disordered. The traits tell only part of the story. The part that's missing, you can be a sociopath and have a healthy relationship. Yeah. You can have that with an autist as well, although they don't understand other people. And in a way, I understand this, but with such people, it's problematic. And this is not. You can be a sociopath and be educated. Yeah, of course, you see it a lot. A lot of politicians are a psychopath. That's a very uncomfortable reality for some people. No, why? People want to believe that all sociopaths are monsters and monsters are easy to spot. No. So psychopaths are in general a-holes, and they are fairly easy to spot by the way they talk or look. For example, this facial expression, I would say immediately psychopath. Stabbing, then you got older, trespassing, you didn't come. How did you learn to control these urges? Potentially you feel better. Yeah, there's something interesting, so which I discovered, and I told a friend, and then he said, yeah, that's a recent discovery in psychology by someone who analyzed brains. And it's the following. So it was in 2033, I made a video, and I also did an experiment, and then I realized how something works to make stronger the desire from antisocial people, not just psychopaths, to accuse others of things they don't even do. So psychological projection, they accuse others of doing something wrong. And I experienced that several times, and I thought with one guy even who I did not even know. I just watched him fall, and he started accusing me and my friend of something. I did an experiment for myself, so 2023, and I felt ill for a few days. I said to his sister, yeah, it's your fault. The strange thing was, and I realized it, I felt better. I felt sort of, yeah, I wouldn't say happier, but more pleasant. And it felt weird. And then I realized, so that's a factor that makes it such that such people do it actually more. But it's of course not the start. You need to have it experienced once. And I did it, not in my youth. I did it really only a few years ago. So the psychological projection does not get started from that, but it enforces the desire to accuse other people. And then I told a friend, and he said, "Yeah, that's a recent discovery for someone who analyzed people." That this happens. So there's a brain chemistry that happens when accusing other people. And I said, I didn't need to do any brain analysis. I just experimented and I knew it. And he said, it's not scientific. I said, yes, it is. You can try it with other people. They can do it, see if they feel better. And then you have the confirmation, really. Let's see. There's a group of people. Yeah, people want to belong to a group, even such people. And really what's going on here is getting the blame away from them, from being a-holes. I was on path to understanding that when I had those feelings, go steal the car. Yes, I could do that, but now I understand what's going on. That understanding helped break the cycle, or at least redirect the compulsion towards something less destructive. Yeah. Why? Doing something destructive. And that's something they mention about psychopaths, sociopaths, that one of them is not able to control their urges. I don't think that's the whole definition in psychology doesn't make sense. Here. This is just antisocial behavior. But it's understandable that you feel screwed. Like when I go to the grocery store and come home, if anything has gone bad, so it was already not good. I'll make a mental note, I'm stealing this next time. You can go back to the store and they will always replace it. yeah, it'll take you some time, but that's the way to do it. And it also gives the store information on, hey, there's a product here that may have been overdate, for example, without them having been aware of it. Difficulty understanding other people's emotion, feeling apathy, lacking empathy. Yeah, you also write about experiencing love. Yeah, love. And it's not love. Most people don't understand love, actually. Well, they do on a subconscious level, but why are you innately able to feel love but not, say, empathy? The way I experience love seems to be very different from, neurotypical. My experience of love seems less. What do you mean seems less emotional? I'm thinking about that video interview with an Emacs enthusiast, and he says, I think in eLisp, and guy he extols the virtues of it, and guy says, maybe I'll look into eLisp or Lisp. And the enthusiast says, what do you mean maybe? If I had to explain what love feels to me, I would say symbiotic. So a relationship that's beneficial to both people involved, not transactional, possessive, not ignorant. Yeah, but it is transactional. The transaction is a long-term transaction that is in progress until something may happen. So yes, that's a transaction. Love is something very different. There's also in love, which is of course a superficial feeling. There's attraction, which is mostly biological. With me, not really. It's more about personality, at least in person. So there's difference you can have. For example, feeling attracted to a woman as a man. On pictures and in person. In pictures, I say, wow, this woman is unbelievably attractive. I've met such women that I thought that they were an absolute 10 out of 10. And then I met them and I saw, yes, this woman is incredibly attractive, but I don't feel anything. I'm not attracted. So I would have to say beautiful. Beautiful, 10 out of 10. Attractive on the picture, yes, 10 out of 10. Beautiful in meeting, 10 out of 10. Attraction on the picture, none. In reality, none. I mean, attraction, none in reality. Despite being a 10 out of 10. Okay. It's not that I'm unable to access emotions or empathy. Experience is different. No, it's more flat, but also they have only emotions really for themselves. So it's no deep feelings. This really tells it. Feelings of love towards your child that were non-intrinsic, you had to work to experience. Can you, woman, forget my personality? You're inundated with all these images. Your child is born, it's incredible. I did not experience it. I didn't have that immediate baby is born, I'm overwhelmed with love. Yeah, okay. It was, and this is very interesting, I don't know this person is very loud. That's everything that she says, it's like everything is from a distance, emotionless. That connection is not there. It's not innate, but over time you can build it. Much when I first met David, I knew right away this person is going to be important in my life. Didn't have the emotions. Well, that happens with autists as well. And I've mentioned one issue in life that I just, in life, with groups of people, and one of those women was a member of the group. Group behaved very badly towards her. I liked her, but her mother was talking badly about me. Her friends were talking badly about me. All kinds of things, like for example, that I wore summer trousers in winter. It was minus 12 Celsius in Kharkov, and I wasn't cold. We had been walking, for example, to a bike storage facility where you could leave your bike, and then when you want, you pick it up and go cycling for a day or a few days. And it was there was snow, minus 12 Celsius. We were talking with that guy for an hour, maybe about future business cooperation. And my friend asked, "Aren't you cold?" And I said, "No, I'm not cold." Here as well, I'm walking with a summer coat and just a t-shirt. Then I'm not cold, even though it was it varies a bit, minus 6 to minus 11 or so I've experienced. So when you walk or bicycle or ride bicycle, then you already get enough warmth. That's the same when first. Now I think he's a great kid. Yeah, Are you able to describe how you build a sense of morality? Don't care about someone else's pain doesn't mean I want to cause more of it. So this is really transactional way of thinking. I enjoy living in the society. I know that there are rules. I choose to follow these rules because I think the benefits of this world, this housework, this relationship, that's different from people who follow the rules because they have to, they should. People don't follow rules because they have to, because they should, but it's because there is a little bit in that they should, of course, but they want to be a good person. They are. that's this is not correct. They want to be a good person. No, they are. They just aren't assholes. That's the difference. I want to live in a world where things function properly. If I create messes, and here comes a transaction, my life will become messy. What does it matter why I choose to help the woman? Why does it matter why I choose to pick up a wallet and hand it to the person? Hand it to the person as opposed to keeping it. It's not because I'm a good person. It's because I would feel. It's not because. But why does it matter? Well, in these cases it doesn't matter, but in the other cases it matters. How to best interact with someone who identifies as sociopathic? I would say get the hell away from them. Identifying, in my experience with people who don't know that, has been positive. How do they know it? Yeah, of course, yeah. They hide it. They try to hide it, for example, with a smile. I've yet to encounter anybody who, when I disclose my diagnosis, acts afraid or upset. Now, why should they? I think inherently neurotypicals are fascinated by sociopathy. I'm not interested. Actually, the reason why I became interested was only for one thing, to prevent manipulation. And a lot of these people are manipulators. And the social manipulators. I really hate that. Because it's relatable disorder. Relatable disorder? Absolute bullshit. Everyone has that darkness in them. Everyone has their thoughts they want to shoo away because of guilt. No. If more conversations between neurotypical and neurodivergence were to occur, it would benefit both. Yeah, not really. It would benefit the sociopathic, but that acceptance, it's about acceptance. The whole story is about getting away any blame for, yeah, this is just how I am. You should know me and accept me. And I'm not really interested in that. I think, as someone mentioned, and I mentioned this saying before, that sounds like a you problem. Why should I have to care about someone who doesn't care about me? Acceptance, that's 80% of the air out of the balloon. But it would help. I could share, maybe couldn't share with other people. This is really crazy. I get more secrets from strangers after telling them my diagnosis. You wouldn't believe the things that people have told me because they feel safe. Now, this is really crazy. And okay, I was sitting across dinner. My diagnosis came up. I've had thoughts of killing my wife a lot. Not to normalize it, but I was like, tell me about it. He goes, I've really thought about it. I've reached out to people hiring someone to kill her. And a normal person would say, why the hell don't you get divorced then? Or something like that. Jesus Christ. And it would help the neurotypicals. Yeah, really. It doesn't. A normal person would. And would he tell it to another normal person? No, possibly not. But nothing has changed now. So it's a waste of time for everyone. Think of my video about the Dutch being direct. Wasting time. This achieves nothing. This has done nothing useful. Bullshit. Assume your sympathetic audience? No. Yeah, maybe a few about some things, but why would you want to tell anyone that you want to murder someone, for example? You were a practicing therapist. Yeah, why? If we think therapists is highly empathic, invested in the emotions of stories of the clients. No, not really. They're not like that at all. They're really distanced. And this is also why there are a lot of psychologists, yeah, I would say probably successfully working as psychologists who are like that. I didn't relate to them. Not to say I didn't care about my patients. I would care about you. I wouldn't continue to see if you didn't. It's you get paid, so yes, you would. Why would you need that reassurance from me? That's the whole point of going to a psychologist. You want to change something in your life. You're not happy. My job is to help you understand what's going on with you, take your emotions, separate them out, explore your motivation. Yeah, but she cannot properly do that. I think I was good because I was able to parse those things out. By stating it like this, I was able to parse those things out. I already think she can't because that's like an emotion poor way of stating something, like a computer programmer. My gift to my therapy patients was that I was able to lend them, why do you care? What does it matter? What do you need from that? But I can do that as a non-psychopath. Anyone can do that. And I will go into that issue, by the way, with my list of life. That I tried recently to suggest it to someone, and I got some backlash of asking even a question if whether she was still unhappy. No, okay, that's something for another time, perhaps. I felt helped them achieve things that maybe a non-sociopathic therapist couldn't have offered. Yeah, absolute nonsense. You describe things like mirroring people back to themselves, or your conscious and intentional manipulation in the moment. Is it happening now? Everyone is a front-facing person. Desire to be liked. I don't have that. Fear of judgment. I don't have that. Wanting someone to be friends with them. I don't have that. That's also related to the list of life. Some people have that, and actually some psychologists have this issue. Psychology in Seattle, for example, made a video about, I think it was the NXIVM cult with Keith Raniere, who got like 120 years in jail, in prison. He said about his work, yeah, if there's someone at your work, he was talking about narcissism, etc., and being liked, and if there's something at your work and he doesn't like you, that would be terrible. And I thought, what the hell kind of wuss are you? Why would you want to be friends with everyone? I don't want to be friends with everyone. Some friends, it's nice if they think for some reason I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. Okay. It's just life. People change, views change, anything. My decision to mask, adopting pro-social mannerisms and the smile is not because I have some dark ulterior motive. Yeah, it's to fit in. It's because you guys are interesting to me. No, to fit in. Neurotypical emotion, to hide yourself also. Neurotypical emotions are so colorful and complex. In order for me to engage with you, you have to feel comfortable with me. In order for you to feel comfortable with me, I have to mask. I think if people are unmasked by me, that I'm not masking. Yeah. I would say almost certainly I would know that she's a psychopath almost immediately if I were to talk with her or if I would see some video of her. Because otherwise I'm quiet. I ask invasive questions. I do that as well, by the way, but especially with antisocial people, because I don't care about their feelings. They don't care about my feelings, which means I then reciprocate and I don't care about them because they are a-holes. Why would you care about a-holes? I'm just interested then in getting something for me, which is understanding something. I ask invasive, I stare, my affect is low. The bottom line is that if I want you to feel comfortable, so I engage, I smile, I mirror, smile, fake smile. It's not nefarious, it's necessary. It's not necessary, except to fit in. The issue here is motivation. I don't mask because I'm secretly trying to kill you. You to feel comfortable? No, she wants to fit in. You to feel comfortable, that's again putting it on the outside world. Everything is really for and by the outside world, where nothing is my issue.